This is BullionMax. I'm Mark Allen, along with the customer service manager of BullionMax and our co-host here on the BullionMax podcast, Mr. Sean Reynolds. Hello, Sean.
Hey, Mark, how are you today?
I'm doing terrific. We're getting ready for summer here in Southern California. How about you in Oklahoma?
Cranking it up. Same thing. We've seen some rain lately, starting to get some really nice days going. Pool weather is here, which makes me happy.
Absolutely. Shorts weather and t-shirts, right?
Yes. And I
And
am wearing pants right now, just so you know.
I, well,
I have the
some of
shirt.
us are.
Yeah,
I
some of
am
us.
wearing a shirt. I am wearing a shirt. We'll stop with that. We're gonna talk about Bullion Max today, and we're gonna talk about how to buy and sell coins. I told you the other day that I had a bag full of coins, and I took them to the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the teller said yes. I said, here, put them in your machine. She said, we won't do that. I took him to a machine that she told me to take him to and
Mm-hmm.
threw him in. 5 pennies didn't make it through the machine. They rejected it.
Rejected somehow?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have a 1917 and a 1916 and two 1930 coins that didn't make it. So they're pennies. I've checked. They're worth 2 pennies or 3 pennies. I think one of them is 15 pennies.
Slightly more than just a penny, but
Yeah,
not by much.
but only to a collector.
Right, right.
And
To the right
and
guy. Mm-hmm.
and so I'm wondering, does it matter what denomination a coin is when you're buying and selling coins?
Boy, it really does because all places and people who buy coins are buying different things. So, one of the common questions I get on our chat is people asking about the recent quarters and some of the mint errors on those. And they're like, what do you give me for that? It's like, well, we're really not buying that. So I couldn't tell you what it's worth. It's not something I'm familiar with or an expert at. So as helpful as I try to be, I say, hey, go out on eBay and see what some of the most recently closed auctions are. Not just what it's selling for, because that doesn't mean it will sell for that price, even if it's a buy me now auction. But if you take a look at the ones that sold, you'll see what they actually sold for. And where I really can't offer you much more assistance than that, or to check with your local coin dealers and see if that's the type of thing that they buy and sell, in addition to bullion, silver, gold, things of that nature, that's probably your best bet to see if you could find someone who would be interested in that thing that's pretty esoteric, but not necessarily an investment type of product. That really goes down the collector alley. And as Bullion Max, we're really not there now. We're really more in the investment space. We're always going to have a couple of interesting things that may or may not necessarily fit that mold, but that's pretty much where we are, is the investment space.
I think we talked about it briefly a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I was watching an old Gunsmoke, and they were talking about a coin. I don't remember what it was, but I remember looking on eBay for the
Mhm.
value of that coin just to see if it was a real coin.
Mhm.
And these guys were flipping this around like when we were kids. You'd flip a coin on the ground and yeah.
Yeah, tweak it
Um,
with your finger, watch it spin on the
yeah, and
tabletop.
that's what they were doing with this coin that has got valued to like $40,000 and up. Um,
And you're playing with it.
and they're playing with it. I would
You
have
don't
impatient.
know,
Yeah,
at the time, you don't know.
yeah. Are there coins that have that value really?
I spoke with a guy just the other day who was really proud of some Carson City Morgan dollars that he had, and NGC just recently graded one of them as a 68, and that's one of the few graded that high in existence. I was going to try to remember what the year was, but I remember that it was a Carson City, and it may be one of five that
Whoa.
in that kind of condition. And he was so excited. He had some other Carson cities in the neighboring years. They weren't as nice as that one, but that one was that was the catch out
Uh,
of what he was telling me about. And there are folks who are really, really avid collectors of the Morgans, because you've got the different mints, the different years, the different conditions, the different styles. These were used on stagecoaches. These were used for
huh.
this, that, the other thing. You tend to find some of just some of the ones through the years that have been, in drawers when people keep them for
Yes.
safekeeping. That's the worst thing you can do, because they become called sliders. Because when you open and close the door, in effect, you're sanding down the finish of the coin that's touching the bottom.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah,
I never
that's
thought
no
of that.
bueno. So just think of all of the cool coins through the years that were handed down from generation to generation that are sliders now, because we didn't know what else to do with them at the time. They probably were somewhat valuable when they were given to us, but time not being the wiser, unfortunately, we beat them up a little bit in the process unintentionally.
You mentioned that you were talking to this guy with the Morgan dollar
Hmm.
and that it was a 68. Is that a grade of 68? Is that out of 100?
It's out of 70.
Out of 7? Ooh.
Yeah, so this is a big deal, and so the grading systems. One of the things that we like about grading systems as dealers is it's a third party who decides what the quality of the coin is. It's not the seller, and that takes a lot of pressure off of us. Because I could say, hey, Mark, this coin's a 68. You get it. You go 66 at best. Look at the scratches here. Look at the toning. The interesting colors here. Look at this is tarnished. What do you mean it's 68? Okay. It
Is it,
makes
let me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that 2% or 2 point difference, is that significant?
Depending on the coin, absolutely. It can be, especially these older things that have been around for quite a while, and it's really harder and harder to find something that's in the upper 60s or 70, if there are any 70s in existence at all. Now with bullion coins, the difference between a 66 and a 68, you're almost talking about something that has been circulated versus something that is just not in the best condition, but maybe hasn't been circulated. I don't think you'd actually put a 66 in a holder and be proud of that if it's bullion coins that are new. So really, for the older, more collectible type of things, there's kind of a cutoff at which you would most definitely put it in the slab and brag about it, and where you would not. It would just go in your stack.
Got it.
Hmm.
In that sliding drawer.
It could become a slider. You would hope not, but if you went, oh, it's a 66, I don't care. Yeah,
And but the top score, the top rating is 70.
70. Yes, that's correct. And there are different classifications. So, for example, for a proof coin, that's a PF 70. Your standard bullion is MS 70, which stands for mint state. And there are a few other ones depending upon the type of coin it is. There are different ones for high relief coins, which just means there's a lot going on there in depth. It's not just kind of your flat coin that's been minted and you can see what's on it. It actually, as you hold it, you can feel there's really peaks and valleys in those coins. And those are fantastic when you get a chance to look at them. But should not touch them too much. Put the gloves on, any of that, and to take those precautions, because those tend to be valuable coins to begin with, and they can be great collector's items down the line if those get evaluated, graded, slabbed, and put away. Store it in a cool, dry place, so to speak, and it'll.
Under the mattress, so between the mattresses.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
But don't crack the case though, because one thing that people do not like is the receiving those graded coins with a cracked case. They almost always want it reslabbed because I want it perfect. I want it to be just I want it to be just right. And sometimes, when I was working for other dealers, It's priced that way because the case is cracked. Please understand. Do not ask me to take more money off because the case is cracked and you're going to want to reholder it. So, no,
You used a word, yeah, you used another word that I'd like to have a definition of, and that's uncirculated versus
yeah.
circulate.
Yep, that's one of the things that people ask us a lot. So they'll see the letters BU after the description. So you see 2022 Silver American Eagle BU. That means brilliant uncirculated, which is another way to say in kind of geek talk, it's in new condition. So can't really say mint condition because if you say mint condition, well, it could be a 70, it could be a 69. That's in the eye of the beholder. So BU is a way to say, look, it's virtually a new coin. You should be impressed with that.
I would be impressed with that. I mean, uh, but a circulated coin would be one that people have used to buy a pack of cigarettes.
It's seen some action, yes. You're not as likely to see that with bullion coins as you are to see it with these old Morgan dollars or things of that nature. But sometimes there are situations where people do physically trade coins and they do bullion and it does get handled. And so it may degrade the condition sometimes. And there are, other companies that are a little bit bigger than us that might have those as a grade that you can purchase as well with a lower premium over the spot price, but it really is kind of your scratch and dent type of approach. It is that particular coin, but otherwise it's really, hey, it's an ounce of silver, it's an ounce of gold, or a fractional ounce of gold.
This is BullionMax. I'm Mark Gallen, along with the customer service manager and our co-host, Sean Reynolds. Sean, we're going to take a break from talking about coins. That's what we're going to be doing throughout this episode of BullionMax. But let's talk about the customer service and what BullionMax is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BullionMax is really all about helping investors find the right products for their portfolio. And so a lot of those investors come to us without a lot of knowledge about what's going on. And so we do a lot of educating, getting people up to speed. What's the terminology? What does fractional mean? What does BU mean? Things of that nature to help people make their own choices when they go to purchase the metals for their portfolio, whether that is gold, silver, platinum, palladium, full ounces, fractional ounces, a combination. Where should the splits be? What's the most economical way to buy this? Any of those different questions, we know what we carry intimately enough to know where to direct them. And since we're not salespeople per se, if you're looking for the least expensive thing in the shop, just ask. I'll tell you. If you want something that's kind of interesting, that's not the usual stuff, I'll know what I can point out to you, assuming what you may or may not have seen before. So I'm kind of like the tour guide to the site, and over here you see the striped marlin quarter-ounce coin. It carries a much lower premium than the American Eagle by quite a bit, at least $50. But I cannot say the Eagle is a $50 better coin. I cannot say. Your future buyer of your coin might have some say in that, and that's what you have to consider.
So you're all about education. BullionMax is all about educating investors of all kinds. Those who want to buy 10 ounces of gold, or somebody wants to buy a fractional ounce of gold.
Had a lawyer call me the other day, say, I've got a divorce client. She's got $20,000 in cash. She wants gold. We're going to split it into two purchases. How do I do this?
Wow.
Okay, so that's a question. All right, so then there's some strategy, some pricing, a little of the who's our shipper, what's the best way to pay us, how do I get the best pricing, all of that stuff. So yeah, ask the question, because then the obvious things I'll also want to make sure will follow right after that.
Uh, Sean, thank you for that. And if you want information about BullionMax, about uh, adding to your own portfolio, or even starting a portfolio of gold, silver, palladium, and other precious metals, visit the website. You'll learn a lot. There's lots of information there, and you'll be able to uh, understand a little bit more. And if you have questions,
Hmm.
ask them. That's what BullionMax does. They answer questions. We're
Hmm.
talking about buying and selling coins today on this edition of BullionMax. And you mentioned not to touch certain kinds of coins,
Hmm.
to wear a glove. Is that like a soft cotton glove?
That's what's typical. Is cotton glove, and it really is trying to minimize the oils from your hands transferring to the metal. If that's left there, that will tarnish eventually. If you leave really nice fingerprints on it, that's what will be on it in the future.
It
And
will it be there forever?
it could be, especially since you should not clean the coins. So you want to keep them in the best condition as possible. I do not fault anybody who can't resist the temptation to have a really, really, really good look. But as my parents always said, you see with your eyes, not your hands, right? So that is it's hard not to touch it, especially the high relief coins because they do look cool, but you appreciate them even more by sense of touch to say there's no other coin that feels like this in my hands. This is different. This is special. And so, but that is very important. So if you are going to handle it, when you're done handling it, if you're using your hands, just use a dry cotton cloth. Don't even use a solution. Just just wipe it off and put it back, and you should be fine.
Well, that's like using our iPhones. I mean,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I years ago I went into to Apple, and I had a big case on it that I paid, 50, 60, $70, and you couldn't touch it. And the technician at the Genius Bar
Hmm.
said, "Why do you have that on there?" I said, "Because I'm clumsy. I don't want to drop it." He goes, "Yeah, but take it off." And he took off. He said, "Feel that glass. Feel that shine. You can
Hmm.
feel the shine on the thing." He said, "It's so tactile." Is that the same thing with coins?
It can be. Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the silver starter set that we came up with. We thought if we had people who were really going to invest and they're just going to purchase bars, or maybe they'll purchase some rounds without ever experiencing what it's like to have a full ounce silver coin, such as an American Eagle, you're really going to be missing out on something very special. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about silver. It has a look, a feel, a sound. I mean, all of those things are actually pretty exciting. And this is, money as well. Let's not forget that. It's actually cool money, right?
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that in case people were planning to just always purchase the least expensive thing, that at least they knew what it was like to have a coin, own a coin, touch it, look at it, just experience it and appreciate it. Because there may be, you may get into this long enough to want to purchase some things that are outside of the least expensive thing in the shop because you do like it. That's one of the things that I often encourage people to do. I mean, while we are, helping people with their investments, sometimes you do need to have some fun. And one of the places to find the fun is to find the beauty. And so when you see something you like, and it's not crazy out of your budget, go ahead and buy it. Enjoy it instead of I'm stressing about the stacks behind me because it's not any fun because I never buy outside of my comfort zone. Well, I would recommend get something, you're in for the
It's
long.
fun.
Exactly. You're going to cost average it anyway, in with your other ounces, or maybe these would be things you would never sell. Maybe these are keepsakes, gifts, things of that nature. go ahead and splurge on those things. There's no reason why you can't do something special. That's a precious metal that isn't necessarily a bullion coin. And that's why there's so many different things available for sale.
And of course, right now, as we're doing our podcast now, and at the beginning of June, it's perfect for gifts such as weddings, graduations, Father's Day. Hey, Father's Day is coming up, guys, and I am a dad.
Turtle. 2 ounce
Yeah,
turtle for dad.
yeah, exactly.
2 ounce turtle.
So but
I
even
like it,
yeah, hey, even as we go through the year and podcast, if you happen to be watching this in November, this is a great Christmas gift too, right? These kinds of coins. If somebody is interested in finding out more about coins, about how to buy a coin, can you give us a couple of tips real quick?
Sure. It really gets down to some of my favorite ways to navigate through the BullionMax site. And it really starts with the ribbon that goes across the top that says gold, silver, platinum, palladium. And so I spend most of my time in silver with our clients. So I'll hover over the word silver and then I'll scoot over to 1 ounce coins. That's where I spend most of my time. We've got 3 pages of, I think, 12 items. So there aren't, there isn't so much to look at there. You're going to get lost. But I am used to saying, yeah, it's on the second page, 3 rows down, third one from the left. That is the 1 ounce silver buffalo round. Okay, so that's my favorite way to navigate that. If I just want to go to gold bars, I'll hover over the word gold, and then that menu will open up and I'll just click on bars. There aren't so many bars that I need to say I want a 1 ounce, I want something fractional, any of that. It's, I might have 12 different things that I can purchase at any given time. Anything from a gram up to 10 ounces. But not so many of each one that, you have to sift through things you don't want to look at to find what you're looking for. So
and you also have a starter set, a silver starter set, is that?
Yes, and a lot of people ask about how to find that if they lost the link that they initially had or whatnot. We do have a search box, and just put in there silver starter. It's the only thing that will come up after you hit enter. Click on it. If you haven't purchased one before, currently there is a special deal that discounts it $4.99 for you. Now, that is what we limit to 1 per customer. If you want to order more than 1, you just don't get the discount on the subsequent ones. But that was a fun collection to put together. We've had some people who buy 2 of them to make sure that they get free shipping, because we ship for free when you purchase $199 or more. It's like our competition, but it's an easy way to make sure that you have enough so you're not paying for shipping. But hey, if it's good once, it's good twice, right, Mark?
Exactly.
There you go.
More is better, right? More is better.
Yes.
And that's a silver starter set.
Yes.
The other day you and I were talking, and I told you the following story. Commercial comes on, and I'm watching it, and there's this beautiful coin that appears, right? And you can have this uncirculated, beautiful coin, and it spins and it looks gorgeous. I believe, and it was silver.
Okay.
$9.95. You're limited to 5, and we'll give you free shipping at that point. Is this something that, it's pretty. To me, it's not a collectible, but can you give some insight in that?
Well, I can tell you, I would be reading the fine print on that very closely to understand, first of all, what is the metal? You want to assume it's silver because it's a white metal, right?
Right.
They might even say it's silver, but it might be silver clad without saying silver clad, which means it's probably copper in the middle, but silver on the outside. So don't think
like gold plated.
Yes,
silver plated.
Exact same thing, like silver plated. So the issue you have there is, unless you really like the design as a collectible piece, that's not an investment product. Because first and foremost, if that's a full ounce of whatever it is, and you're assuming it's silver, and silver is currently trading over $22 an ounce, well, that's certainly not a genuine coin that someone's going to sell you. And they're certainly not going to let you buy 5 of them at that price while they, that's, $110 worth of silver for $50. Okay. Nobody
Not
is going
happening. Not happening.
not
There
happen.
was there used to be a stereo salesman, okay, Mad Months. He said, I lose a penny on every deal, but I make it up in volume.
That's still a lot of pennies.
It's still, yeah.
I get his point. It's a little hyperbole there. I understand, but yeah, if it's a loss, it's still a loss. So,
Yeah, of course. So
yeah.
I guess the reason I brought that up is to just mention to people to be careful about what you're looking at, what you're buying, right?
Yes, absolutely. Years ago, there were a number of counterfeit 1 ounce gold bars being sold on eBay, and they were selling for $300 or $400 less than the market rate for the metal. Now, let's face it. I don't care who you are. If you are a vendor like BullionMax and you've got inventory you want to move, you can always sell it wholesale at about the market rate, not hundreds of dollars under the market rate. So you can be pretty sure this is either a motivated seller, and I'm being kind as I say that, or it's just out and out fraud.
Got
There's
it.
no reason for anyone to sell you precious metals at that kind of a discount, because you have to remember it's a commodity. It's worth what the market says it's worth, not what you or I say it's worth. Because you could turn around and pick that up at a discount and just flip it right away for the market rate, and now you're a genius. No, you're not, because it's not genuine, and
Buyer beware. And that's
the thousands of dollars. So
right. And that's the other thing about BullionMax. You guarantee that if somebody says I'm buying an American Gold Eagle, that's what you're getting delivered?
yes, we guarantee genuine product. Now we also photograph and video record every shipment we make, so we know what's in the box. We know what the condition of those items is, and so we also use the same vendors as our sister company, who's been in the business forever. Okay, so we know what we're buying is genuine. We also love to buy from our customers because we have the ability to verify authenticity. We've got the testing equipment and all of that stuff. So even when we're buying from individuals, we know what we're buying is genuine, or we just pass on it and ship it back to them and say, no. Nice try. And selling to BullionMax is very easy. I mean, really, you call us up or you send us an email, you let us know what you have. And of course, we're more interested in bullion than we are in those 25-cent quarters right now.
Right.
But let us know what you have. We are really expecting what we're buying to be in, you guessed it, brilliant uncirculated condition when we receive it, because that's really what we sell right now is stuff in that condition. We will give you a price. If you like the price, we create a purchase order, which is really an agreement to buy that from you. We lock in the price. You ship us the metals. We give you the address. As soon as the package arrives, we verify the authenticity. We would get your banking information, and we would just drop the payment right into your account.
Wow. But you don't want something like this.
No. As much as I'd like to see your 1917 penny, BullionMax was not interested in this right now.
Got it. Listen, Sean, thank you very much for visiting with us today. Look forward to seeing you on our next episode, where we will be talking about the Perth Mint and some of their products. I'm Mark Allen for BullionMax. Be sure to join us on our website. It's located right under us, here on the video. We'll see you next time, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
And we will see you next time as well. Bye-bye for now. Hey, Sean, don't you think people should subscribe to us?
Absolutely. How do they do that, Mark?
All they have to do is click that little red button that's below one of us, I'm not even sure where, on YouTube, and you'll be able to follow us and get our latest updates, right?
It's as easy as can be.
It really is. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time.